YouTube gang, what is going on? It's the boy Texas Yankee, and today we're checking out the 04 Pistons and their dominant run, you know what I'm saying? This is from Heat Check, and it's basically talking about how their opponents even celebrated losing because that's just how goddamn good the 04 Pistons are. So just leave a like, comment, subscribe, man. You know what to do, you know what I'm saying? Let's get right into it without further ado.
Watch what happens here. The
Shout out
Pistons
to
are
Heat Check.
celebrating their blowout win against the Nets, but New Jersey is still pressing with 15 seconds to go.
69 points scored in 4 quarters is crazy.
Trying
nowadays.
to foul and stop the clock.
Even 88.
The reason is extremely bizarre. This would have been Detroit's 6th consecutive game of holding their opponents to under 70 points.
Dang, they was clamping like that. Yeah. I just want to reference, I was not even born yet when these games were being played. You know what I'm saying? I didn't appear on this earth for a few more months.
So, in an act of complete desperation,
So,
the Nets didn't want to be on the list and wanted another shot at the basket, which they
That being
made
said, I
it
gotta
right
learn
at the
about them,
buzzer,
you know what I mean?
prompting this hilarious celebration of a 17-point
They did
loss.
win the chip when I was
This Detroit
born.
team was a force in the league for almost a decade, but the 04 Pistons squad may have been the best defensive team in NBA history. And
That's a bold claim, so you better back that up, man.
You gotta talk about some of their records.
The
This
best
is the
defensive
5-game
team
streak
ever.
that New Jersey snapped, with this second game being
so that's why.
particularly interesting. Detroit faced off against the Nuggets and a rookie Carmelo Anthony.
Holding your points under 70, what does it say? 5. So they had 5 games in a row at that point. Bro, imagine if a team did something like that today. 65 points in a whole game.
Detroit faced off against the Nuggets and
you would
a
never
rookie
see anything
Carmelo
like
Anthony.
that today.
The game was pretty even up until the
Least
middle
amount
of
of
the
points
second
I've
quarter,
seen
when the
in a while
Pistons
is like
decided that they
78.
weren't going to allow any field goals for a while. A whole 22 Denver possessions to be exact. The Nuggets could not score against this defense, so the lead went from 35-34 all the way to 64-39, with those 5 points for Denver coming from the free throw line. And sure, back then the pace was slower, so you could see teams scoring under 70 points. But
still,
if we take into account that in the 04 season, this happened in 47 out of the 1,230 games in total, and Detroit's defense was responsible for 11 of those games, you understand how tough they were. This was especially the case once they
that's crazy. That's like almost a quarter of all the games.
Traded for Rasheed Wallace.
Whatever I could bring to the table to help us make that gallop for that title cup, you know, that's what I'm gonna do.
From the moment he stepped in the Pistons locker room, Sheed was a perfect fit. A boost both on offense as well as defense, but also giving the team that extra bit of edge that he always played with. So for the remaining 26 games of the regular season since they acquired Wallace, the Pistons only allowed 79 points, which would blow out any record for a full season. And on
what is the record for a full season?
That topic, they did finish with the #1 defense overall that year. So then came the playoffs. And right from the jump in Game 1 of the first round
79 was
against
shattered, so I'm
Milwaukee, their
guessing it's
defense
like
was
81 or
dominant.
2.
Block after block, the Bucks were suffocated and virtually couldn't see the rim. Most of those stops opened up a transition opportunity for the Pistons, and they capitalized on it. And
it's beautiful, man.
Watching
basketball like from the angles they had back then is so crazy.
Full court, so Milwaukee couldn't even get past half
I almost
court.
like it more.
Detroit forced 24 turnovers in that game, and it looked like the big brother playing against the little brother. It was that dramatic.
They forced 24 turnovers. So, what do you think would be the equivalent in today's game to holding a team under 70? Would it be like under 90? Because I mean 100 is still doable. Obviously you could hold people under 100, but like it'd be very difficult to hold people under 90. I think
the Pistons advanced in 5 games and went head-to-head against the finalists of the previous 2 seasons, the New Jersey Nets. And
so you really got to score
in the series
110
opening,
points
Detroit would offer a defensive spectacle. In a blowout win, they held the Nets to a miserable 56 points. 56 for the entire game. And not only that, but the Pistons allowed a laughable 27% shooting from the field for their opponent.
That is insane.
They became just one of 2 teams to allow under 60 points in a playoff game.
Yeah.
Only MJ.
Damn. Under 60 in the playoffs.
And the Bulls shared the same defensive achievement. This was a tough series, however. It included chippiness,
Do you
close
understand
games,
how hard it is to hold a whole team under 60?
and even a triple overtime showdown that the Nets
For
won
48
despite
minutes?
this unbelievable buzzer beater by Chauncey Billups.
They have just under 3 seconds to do it. Here's Chauncey Billups. There it is. He's got it. He's got it.
Imagine. You gotta guard that, man.
Overtime.
You gotta face guard on the
Nets
inbounds
even
on
took
those.
a
I don't
3-2
care.
lead, but the defensive mindset of this team prevailed once again, and they were able to escape with
It's
a
kind of crazy you went down 3-2,
close
but
win in
I mean,
New
it
Jersey,
was the
setting
New
up the
Jersey.
deciding Game 7, in which the Pistons absolutely destroyed their opponents with a
Some of
90-69
them are pretty decent, so.
blowout win. An interesting note here is that Ben Wallace had one of the best offensive nights in his career, scoring 18 points and even looked like a knockdown shooter in a few situations. In the conference
Knockdown shooter is a stretch.
finals, Detroit faced off against the Indiana Pacers, the number 1 seed in the East. And despite having the lead late in Game 1, Reggie Miller delivered yet another one of his iconic daggers in the clutch for a heartbreak defeat for the Pistons. So, knowing that they can't fall in a 2-0 hole, Rasheed Wallace guaranteed a win in Game 2.
Hey, y'all put it in the front page, back page, middle page, wherever. Headliners, column 1 or 2, we will win game 2. Back it off.
Did they back that up?
We will win game 2.
This statement sparked a war on the court, a defensive slugfest that wasn't the prettiest to watch, with 26 blocks in total.
Damn.
Detroit had 19 of them.
19 by one team, though. Okay.
And once again, they
That's
would
more
find
impressive than
themselves
26.
clinging to a 2-point lead in the closing second.
Bro, 69-67 at the end of the game. What the fuck is going on?
Which set the stage for one of the most legendary defensive stops in NBA history.
Reggie Miller. And it's
Oh, yeah,
Prince
bro.
again. What a buck. How did Prince get there? What a buck.
Bro,
This was
Reggie, you gotta finish that play.
Another game where the Pistons held their opponents to less than 30% from the field, similarly to the game against New Jersey. Only this team and the 99 Knicks
That's
were able to do
crazy.
such a thing 2 times in a
Twice in
single
one
playoff run. They survived Game 2 with a win and also won the next 3 out of the 4 to ultimately defeat the Pacers and head to the NBA Finals as a massive underdog against the Lakers super team. The one thing that Detroit had going for them was their perfect team chemistry compared to the ego-filled roster of the Lakers led by the beef between Kobe and Shaq.
That
So
duo,
the
though,
Pistons
man.
used just that to pull off the most genius defensive strategy that Chauncey Billups would reveal years later. He said, "Our game plan was very calculated. We knew we were going to play Shaq straight up, and we knew there was no way we could stop Shaq straight up.
Yeah.
So their eyes are going to get big, which means they're going to keep throwing it down there. We're telling Ben the whole time, take fouls when you need to, but don't
I'm trying to understand where this is going.
get yourself into foul trouble." But what's going to happen is Mr. Bryant is going to get a little discouraged with getting no touches, and now the second half comes around, and now he's pressing. He's going to start coming down and just breaking the offense. When you do that, you're done.
They're using Kobe against
You're
them.
playing
That's
right
crazy.
into our hands. Even when you start making those shots, you're finished. And indeed, they were. The Pistons shocked the entire basketball world, defeating the Lakers in 5 games.
Just
Chauncey
5,
Billups
too.
took home the Finals MVP trophy, but you could truly make a case for each and every member of that starting lineup. Detroit ended their
Man.
championship run with the best
Best in play. That is insane.
defense in postseason history, allowing
Defense does win championships, and I won't say all the time, but I will say when done correctly,
opponents
it
just
definitely
80
can.
points
Man.
per game during that
Stifling
entire
defense.
playoff run. A true display of blue-collar, hard-working team winning it the right way, with defense, teamwork, no super
Yeah, I've
teams,
definitely
and no
heard a lot
ego.
of people say that
This
this
team
championship
left
is
an
one of the
imprint on the All-Star
most
game as
pure
well,
who
and
you
even
want
though
of all
this was
time.
a couple of years later, it's the same core group that at times even shut down the best players in the Western Conference with blocks and steals in a hilarious display of lockdown defense in an exhibition game. In a time where we see a ton of points every night,
All-Star.
it's cool to reminisce how defense used to be 20 years ago.
Man, I would so wish it was still like
And
that.
to me, nobody did it better on the defensive end of the floor than this Detroit Pistons team. That's
Like,
it.
I personally think it's more satisfying to watch. Buckets become so much more valuable.
For now, and click right here if you want to see some dirty type of defense and some hard fouls. Talk to you in the next one.
Anyway, man, it's been your boy Texas Inc. Thanks for checking in. It's been the 04 Pistons that were so dominant on defense, man. It's really opened my eyes. I didn't know a whole lot about that team or championship necessarily. I mean, I knew obviously it was a very team-oriented championship, not necessarily one through like star players and stuff. And I knew the defense played a large role in that, but I didn't know all the facts and storylines necessarily. So it's been your boy Texas Inc. Thanks for checking in, guys. I'll see you next time.